We've got deeper problems in this country, and when you look at just the financial exclusion aspect of it, it goes all the way back to the land. The reason our parents don't have money, the reason we're struggling economically, the reason we have to beg for our grants from government is because we don't have an economy that is inclusive of the masses. It's because we don't have the land, and our ruling party has fundamentally and completely still failed our people. And today you've got young kids in 2023 fighting with campus leadership who now are trying to make ends meet, who nathi siyafika because sesiclever sesiyasebenza, we come and we tell them they're wrong, they should do things better. Some of us, it's become Animal Farm. We're on the other side when we're telling them you're not meant to protest like this, it's illegal. And it's because the people that are ruling have fundamentally failed the transformation of this country. So we're going to end up fighting. I saw a lady in the news last week. She's young. So you can imagine she could have been at Fees Must Fall, a doctor, trying to get through. And she's saying, look, I stand with the protest. I'm with the students. But and one of these students, it could be their mother or their grandmother who needs me. One student goes and says, yeah, but if you are essential service, my degree is essential services. And I'm like, that is ignorant. She's young. It's fine. But I'm like, this is where we now have a responsibility to listen to the students, listen to whoever's in charge of things, but then be able to bridge the gap, number one. And number two, to NOTA's point about why in a digital age are people still paying high registration? Why are we still running tertiary institutions the way we're running them? We've got the internet. Why are people going to res? Why? You realize there's a money-making scheme, even with the NFSAS, with all the buildings that are going up at Tax, at UJ, because there are people that are chowing money and want things to remain the same. They want the status quo to remain the status quo. And until we become honest, and I still believe Fees Must Fall failed. People can come and say, no, but I think that's bullshit. The fact that there are students still protesting today tells me fundamentally. The fact that we need NFSAS, the fact that 40% of graduates, after that whole fight and sitting in exams and tutorial, 40% of those kids are jobless today. Tells me that the whole system is kind of fucked. My last point is going to be this. Today I was having a conversation about UCT, Wits, because they are deemed some of the best institutions in the country. And a big part of it is legacy. It's like make America great again. They are great because there were a lot of, especially white Jewish people that came from these institutions. And today are CEOs and big business people. It's not great because of the kids that are there now. If you were to measure, as an example, EUJ, NMMU, and Wits, from when black kids came into now, and you look at where those kids fall in, you realize a lot of these institutions are similar, number one. Number two, if you're going to use the benchmark here, UCT, of post-grad and who's what in America, that is not how you measure excellence. Because the UCT child is from Bishops. They're from Weinberg Boys. They're from Rondebosch.
Paul Boys.
They're from some of these schools.
Paul Gymnasium.
Now, those kids come from very privileged backgrounds with their tutorial after tutorial, tutor after tutor, money after money parents had. That child comes in seamlessly into this space and they easily get the pass papers and they pass. Compare that child who's a doctor, engineer, lawyer, to a Fort Hare Wusu, University of Zululand, that's taking a child from Umkuku, from a 4-room. Lengane yapusha elokishini ifunda ngekhandlela under load shedding. Ukuzongena la nge-NSFAS and then they become udokotela okhuluma broken English. That is something of a fucking miracle. And you want to tell me that institution is superior? Look at our postgraduate. Now we need to rewire our thinking around this whole fucking thing. And if we're clever, we have to work backwards. What does our economy and our society need? Joshua Maponga spoke about this. The point of education is meant to empower people in solving their problems. If upume makaya, if upume lokshini, write down a list. This was him, sorry, this is not me. This was Joshua Maponga. Write down a list of all your ills. There's drugs, there's alcohol abuse, there's potholes, there's this and that.
Broken families.
Broken families is a huge one. We've got mental health issues at Lokshini. And then from there, when you go to institutions, whether it's basic education or higher, go there and say, Prof, Doc, you tutor, these are my issues at home. I hear what you're saying, we need to do these things, but please explain to us and help me get the tools and the resources, like you did with the lady with Imofai. Give me the tools so that when I go home, I fix these things, because it can't be that this entire system is going to help me jump from where I was to becoming elitist, so that tomorrow I'm going to be the deputy president who's going to be telling people to take concomitant action somewhere against miners that are striking when you used to be head of a union that was striking against the same mine bosses. It means somewhere in that whole thing we've kind of fucked things up.